Hi everyone, you're listening to the Hiring Talks podcast presented by Axterior, the professional recruitment platform. Here we talk about hiring, HR management, and everything related with outstanding leaders from different industries.
We are Anna and Sofia, and today we have invited Anna Busol, my namesake, and the talent operations specialist from MacPaw, a software company that develops and distributes software for macOS and iOS for more than 30 million users worldwide.
Yeah, hi, thank you for having me here, and thank you for calling me outstanding specialist.
Because you are. In this episode, we'll find out what TalentOps is, data-driven recruitment, and how it works at a company with more than 400 employees. Let's start.
Yeah, let's do this. To start with, I found some general info about MacPaw, and to say truly, even this ordinary description sounds like working in a dream company. Work at MacPaw feels like flying a rocket ship, you say on the website. So let's find out what is inside this rocket ship. Anna, tell us about your company position, your professional background, and something more.
All right. Yeah, to be brief, my name's Anna, you already know that. And I have education in system analysis. I have more than 6 years of experience in the recruitment field, and I recently got promoted to TalentOps role at MacPaw. Work at MacPaw truly feels like flying a rocket ship, and I've been part of this team for more than 3 years already, and to be honest, I couldn't be more excited by my job. I feel like I'm doing things which truly matter. Yeah, so you also asked me about my company and my position, and I think we'll be talking more about my position as TalentOps later, and I know because we have a plan of our talk, and to tell more about MacPaw, it's a product company, it's Ukrainian company with headquarters in Kyiv, and we make products for macOS and iOS users. One of our flagman products is Clean My Mac X, and we also have Setup, which you might have heard of, and Clear VPN, which became free of charge for Ukrainian users since the full-scale war with Russia started. And one of the main priorities for MacPaw is digital safety of users, our team, and our organization. You know, and it's really important right now considering our reality. So yeah, we work in a culture of cybersecurity, and we work with secure products, we make secure processes, and we most importantly work on our team's awareness. I think that's it for start. Yeah, let's move on.
Thank you very much for introduction, and your professional background and your education sounds impressive, and also it will be interesting for us to find out more about MacPaw and what do you do there, and we're curious to learn more about talent operations, our topic for today. We all know that it's a pretty new term, and there is a huge amount of definitions describing what talent operation is, and all of them, to be honest, are kind of blurry. So how do you define talent operations at MacPaw? And maybe you can share a story with us. How did the need for this position occur at your company?
Sure. So during the last couple of years, the talent acquisition team at MacPaw, and as a result, the company has grown significantly. And of course, the complexity of our processes has grown along with it. So there was a strategic need to work on everything connected to our hiring processes to ensure effective and high quality, because that's what MacPaw is all about, and cost-effective hiring. And I've just described the definition of TalentOps at MacPaw. TalentOps can work on any projects which can help the talent acquisition team to reach their strategic goals, and obviously one of the main goals of talent acquisition team to fill the hiring plan, right? So our projects can include workforce planning, analytic tools, hiring processes optimization, or any projects connected to candidate experience.
Yeah, that's great. I love how we've touched the point regarding the growth of company and how when company grow, the employer need much more different job positions. And let's dive deeper into that point. For which companies is the TalentOps Specialist position essential? Is it like best fit for large companies or contrarily for the startups?
I would say for both. TalentOps could bring value to maybe to some types of companies. And as you said, of course, fast-growing companies or maybe startups are the case. These companies manage high-speed hiring, and at the same time, they have a need to build out policies, compensation strategies, onboarding processes, and TalentOps can help to handle this effectively. Also, large corporations, I think they definitely have a need for TalentOps, because in larger organizations, processes are large and complex. And TalentOps can help to scale processes, manage complex systems, and also analyze talent metrics to drive strategy and decision making. And also, I want to mention the third type of companies, companies which are going through digital transformation, because TalentOps understands both HR processes and tech implementation. So in smaller companies or those with simple talent management needs, I think talent teams may take on the responsibilities of TalentOps as part of their regular functions. And actually, that was our case at MacPaw before defining TalentOps as a separate function at MacPaw. And even though we are not the small company with simple talent management needs. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I think each company of different size has its unique needs. So yeah, I guess different companies will have the need for talent operations. Or as we were getting ready for the podcast, I stumbled upon two different titles like talent operations and recruitment operations. Could you help us understand what sets them apart?
To be honest, when I was preparing for our podcast, I also didn't know the difference between those two titles. Yeah, I had a feeling about them, but I didn't know for sure. And those are namings. And I think every company can put any meaning they want behind them. And from my experience, the difference might be connected to the scale on which a specialist is performing. So recruitment operations can focus specifically on the recruitment process related to recruitment lifecycle. For example, sourcing, interviewing, hiring, and maybe onboarding new employees. And the talent operations, on the other hand, can take care of broader spectrum of responsibilities. So while they, of course, mostly they work with recruitment processes, they also can focus on areas beyond it. For example, workforce planning, training and development, and maybe a strategizing process, which is really interesting. And sometimes maybe they can even go into compensations and benefits. But again, I think every company can define what stands behind, behind the title. And I'm sure that my responsibilities as TalentOps at MacPaw, they are not, template responsibilities. And so we crafted this role looking into our strategic goals and needs, as that's what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, I guess that your position and your responsibilities will evolve as talent operations specialist is new on the market and also new for MacPaw. So maybe in 1 year we will meet and you will tell us a little bit more about your work.
I hope so.
And maybe you've done some market research. How is the TalentOps market looking these days,
Yeah, actually, it was a tough challenge to look into Ukrainian market of TalentOps. It's definitely demand for this role is increasing on the market, but in Ukrainian this is still a fresh role. And as I was preparing for our talk, I checked how many ops vacancies are on the market right now. And I found only 8 that mention talent operations in their description. So yeah, my role sounds really exotic to some people and especially to my grandma.
Yeah, we could even imagine how exotic it will be to explain to our grandparents what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think it would be great if there will be more TalentOps vacancies on the market. And what fields of recruitment process do you cover in your work? May I say, does it refer to candidate selection, engagement, interview process, or retention?
I cover all of it. And of course, we select our top priority direction based on MacPaw strategy. So that's where we go first. Maybe we'll split functions in the future if the company grows significantly. It's definitely an exciting prospect for me, but as for the here and now, it's all on me. So to sum up, I ensure that the entire recruitment process at MacPaw runs smoothly, efficiently, and it aligns with our strategic goals.
Your workload seems to be kind of massive, and I can't imagine how much responsibility do you have right now. And I suppose that setting KPIs could be a real challenge here as you cover the whole hiring process at MacPaw. And what goals in terms of talent ops were set for you?
So I have to go a bit into history. At MacPaw, we work with OKRs. In case this is a new topic for listeners, OKR stands for Objectives and Key Results. And it's a goal-setting framework that allows teams to set ambitious goals collaboratively. So in essence, each team gets to figure out the most effective way to do their part in achieving the bigger picture. And as a talent acquisition team, we have our specific OKRs, and they directly align with the company's bigger objectives. As a part of this team, my role takes shape around these OKRs, and I help my team to reach their goals by either optimizing existing hiring processes or designing new ones from from the scratch. So my role is to help my team achieve their goals in the most effective way. Now, an essential aspect of my job is deciding which process to work on first, because as you mentioned, it might really get messy because I have so many directions which I can look into, and that where my prioritized backlog comes in. I prioritize all these projects looking into my team's strategy, and it's essentially a list, to put it simply, that keeps me organized. And it tells me which processes are most important or urgent right now, so I can decide how to tackle this first and next.
Yeah, I completely agree with your approach, because this is quite relevant for us, because this year we've also started using OKRs, and I think it's a good choice to set and track progress towards strategic objectives, not just some numeric figures. And I'm curious, maybe do you also keep an eye on specific KPI still to measure like progress towards your targets and benchmarks, or only OKRs?
So of course, as talent acquisition team, we are tracking % of the hiring plan we achieved. And unfortunately, I can't go deeper into this topic because of NDA.
Okay, got it. We expected such a situation. Maybe you can give some recommendations on KPIs and performance metrics for mid-sized companies that they can track to improve some talent operations activities.
Yeah, it can work like that. So this is my favorite topic, to be honest. And metrics, they are a thing that help us to understand the quality of our achievements. So these metrics and KPIs can differ depending on the company's strategy, culture, size, and many more factors. For example, there is this most straightforward metric you can imagine, which shows how many hires a recruiter makes every month of the year. So if we are talking about a rapidly growing company that needs to get big quickly, we must look into this metric and set benchmarks for the team and for each recruiter. If we go this way, we also need to arrange our processes to make a hire faster. So I'd recommend looking into time per hire, which is the time a candidate spends in our process from the moment they applied to the moment they accepted our offer. It's a simple but a really important metric, actually, for every company. Next, you should consider the interviews to offer ratio. I love this metric. This helps to identify the effectiveness of your candidate screening processes and the number of interviews needed for a job offer. And essentially, this means how much company's time and money you spend to hire someone. A metric I also highly recommend, especially for companies prioritizing the quality of hire, is the surprise quality of hire metric and the candidate satisfaction rate. This tells you how positive the candidate experience was during the recruitment process, and obviously it influences employer brand of the company in the future.
Thanks for sharing. I like that you shared info about time per hire, because as we have podcasts with different recruitment-related specialists, everyone mentions time per hire. For me, it's like, who run the world? Time per hire. But still, other metrics are also quite essential, and we have many listeners that will definitely benefit from this info. So, guys, we are waiting for your feedback.
Feel free to leave your comments. I'm glad that we've had an opportunity to discuss how TalentOps work under the hood, and it's also curious to talk with you about the perception of your position by the people from our industry. So TalentOps is new on the market and already has misconceptions about its goals. What are some common myths about TalentOps that you've heard?
I'd say in Ukraine, we're not even on the myth stage. I'd say we are more on the how to explain to my grandma and to my colleagues what I'm getting paid for stage. And I definitely had less problems explaining to people what I did when I was a talent acquisition specialist. But yeah, if we are talking about misconceptions, I would say that my top three is that TalentOps is just another name for HR, and classic. You can say that about any role, yes, from HR function, but obviously it's not the same. HR is traditionally focused more on compliance, employee relations, compensation and benefits, and all other things connected to the people who already work at the company. And TalentOps focuses more on strategic projects tied to company goals, and also more on the people who still not are working at our company, and we need to hire them. And second myth, I think, is that TalentOps is an administrator. And yes, that's what I've heard. And obviously, it's not an administrator role. It's much more than simply handling paperwork or scheduling interviews. TalentOps works with data and strategically streamline HR processes to attract top talent, and their work can be highly analytical and strategic. And also, to sum up, the third myth would be that TalentOps doesn't require people skills or HR background. You could simply hire a data analyst. And it's a fact that TalentOps roles are data heavy. However, these professionals, they also need to have exceptional people skills, because in the end they are selling change to organizations after all, and they work with yeah, we all are selling something to each other, and they work with recruitment processes. So a background in talent acquisition or recruitment is a must, in my opinion.
We will come back to this third myth later.
Yeah, it's really interesting to talk how data and people skills correlates in TalentOps position. But before we move to serious topics, I would like to ask you, what would you say your grandma about your work?
So now, when we talk about it for a while, I think that I could say to my grandma that I help recruiters, she knows who recruiters are, to hire more efficiently, cheap and smart. And recruiters, like pilots, they have checklists of what formal steps they need to follow to do their job, and I want to make this short list 2 times shorter. I want to make their job easier, so they could focus, on the job and not on some formal steps they need to follow.
Yeah, with this that you worked on this explanation. By the way, my mother, for example, thinks I'm a journalist, and I'm a marketing manager. So, yeah.
So in a way, you are, right? So
yeah. Sometimes someone. And building off of what we've discussed earlier, how do you think is talent operations field is better for recruiters who passed the recruitment way, or contrarily for business analytics who can look deep into the figures? Who suits better in your opinion?
So I've already answered this partially, and you already heard my opinion. But let's talk more about it. I think the best fit typically depends on the specific needs and the structure of organization. Recruiters who are transitioning, and this is my case, into TalentOps, they bring a deeper understanding of the recruitment process, including candidate behavior, sourcing strategies, and interview techniques. So their first-hand experience with candidate screening and interviewing, they help them to implement more practical and necessary changes to recruitment and talent management processes. And they often are great at understanding the human side of hiring and managing talent. And this is crucial for ensuring any processes implemented that they are recruiter-friendly and effective. And if we talk about business analysts entering TalentOps, they bring in their strong analytical skills, and that allows them to analyze talent metrics and work with data to drive decision making. And they can quickly identify trends, patterns, and areas of improvement, and that makes them incredibly useful for an organization looking to work on their processes to optimize them based on data. And combination of both skills is perfect for the most effective TalentOps. But I think that understanding the recruitment process and having experience with this human element against data-driven decision-making is crucial. So I think with sufficient training and willingness to understand the human aspects of recruitment process, business analysts can be very successful in this field. And similarly, recruiter with a strong interest in data and analytics could be a great fit. So in my case, I'm a talent acquisition specialist with system analysis education, so I feel like I was born for this position. I can apply both my recruitment experience and analytical skills from my education, and I still have lots to learn.
Your story of transition from recruitment to talent operations seems to happen really naturally, because you know what does it mean to be in the skin of recruiter, and now you are on the advanced level and know what to bring to the recruitment to make it easier, and it is also empowered with your education in system analysis. It's
it's quite inspiring.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, but I would say that the talent acquisition specialist role is also can be really advanced, and it's just you decide where you want to dive deeper. And at some point I chose that I want to dive deeper into TalentOps. But my teammates from talent acquisition team, they're facing a lot of really, advanced and complex challenges as well.
I didn't want to say that the work of recruiters are more simple than the work of talent acquisition.
They're just different.
Just trying to correlate these positions.
Yeah, it's just interesting how different backgrounds of different people match with their roles. It's like having belonging with your position and your tasks. I think it's cool when you find this place where you can use all your skills you gathered from different backgrounds. I guess it's about this.
Yes.
And if to dive into the nuances, what's your take on the differences in processes, responsibilities, and even OKRs between a recruitment lead and a talent operations specialist? Do they overlap or are they different?
So I prepared a joke in advance. So you take recruitment lead responsibilities, you subtract talent ops responsibilities, and boom, you get your difference. End of the joke. Obviously, the answer really depends on how your company defines these roles. And in my case, I think the next thing should work. Recruitment lead is ultimately responsible for the result of the recruitment team. Talent ops is responsible for ensuring that this will happen in the most effective way, time-wise, money-wise. So that recruitment team will have everything they need to make hires happen, and they won't think about what tools they should use or what metrics they should pay attention for. It's all, arranged for them in advance.
Okay. I love how we touched on technologies in hiring, because it's all about communication between people. And I recall the scandal with Amazon's machine learning recruiting engine. For our listeners, it was designed to evaluate job candidates who exhibited gender bias by favoring male candidates for technical positions. And the AI system assigned scores similar to Amazon product ratings, but learned to prefer male candidates, penalizing terms associated with women and downgrading graduates from all women's colleges. So here comes the question: how to apply analytical solutions to the real-life routine of the recruitment team without losing this precious human connection?
Let's think about that. So technology obviously can make our lives so much easier. And we also have discussions at our team about these fancy AI tools that will help you screen candidates, for example. But I want to stress immediately that as HR specialist, we are working with lots of sensitive data, and it's crucial to remember that not all AI tools offer the same degree of that data protection.
Yeah, that's true.
And yes, a data breach could damage not only your firm's reputation, but could also lead to significant legal issues. And that is what we take very seriously at MacPaw. If it's not safe for our users, the tool shall not pass our security team. And also, it's super important to find balance and preserve the human touch, as you said before. For example, some companies are already using AI solutions for pre-screenings, and it really can make your life much easier. But to avoid any bias or scandals like Amazon faced, you need to ensure that algorithm is not discriminating against any gender, face, or ethnicity, and that's where humans should help this AI solution to work. And I think that real person at this point of AI evolution should help AI to shortlist candidates when we are talking about pre-screening. If we talk about other analytical solutions which could help talent acquisition team, obviously we can also use, for example, templates for emails, and make sure that, but we need to make sure that they are personalized for each candidate. You can at least include the candidate's name and the role they have applied for in the email to make it feel more personal. Once you have your short list of candidates, face-to-face interviews are essential. In this digital era, video interviews can serve this purpose while maintaining the human touch. And at MacPaw, we are not ready to say goodbye to them. And I know that some companies especially companies which have this massive hiring, they are fast growing, they are already using AI solutions to video screen candidates. But
I've heard about that.
yeah, I don't think it's a case for us right now. A human, obviously, I think that humans should make the final hiring decision. AI algorithms are still not perfect, and they might not even be perfect. And there's a lot about candidates' suitability for a role that can be measured by algorithm. And whether the interview with a candidate was successful or not, providing feedback to candidates after their interview is vital. You can automate this process by using templates, for example. But at MacPaw, we want to show respect for candidates' time and effort in applying and interviewing with us, prepping for interviews. This can be automated, as I said, but it also should be personalized and specific. It shows that you care.
I love that at MacPaw, despite that the recruitment team evolves and your position occur in the recruitment and talent acquisition of the company, you still try to balance between AI and digitalization and real human connection. It's really cool. I hope that you will save that approach.
One of our values as a company is stay human. So we'll do our best.
Yeah, and it's curious how, like 1 year ago, we thought that AI would replace some jobs, but instead AI just simplified some processes. And at the end of the day, like final decisions are for people, especially in such human-centered questions as hiring, I guess. And if a candidate doesn't succeed in onboarding, we won't be able to blame AI, only people.
It's a great point. And 1 year ago, we didn't know how many legal and ethical matters will appear in some cases related to AI. So we all need to balance between AI and something that we do by ourselves.
Yeah, and some time ago I read some news that AI became a little bit human and it became a little bit lazy and doesn't want to process some requests. So I guess AI is more human than we think.
Yeah, and that's why, in my opinion, AI never will be perfect. Because we are not perfect.
Yeah, that's true. And there is also one more thing I would like to discuss with you. We spoke a lot about TalentOps activities and what goals are set for you as a TalentOps specialist. And here comes the strategic question. How do you think, do TalentOps contribute more to short or long-term results?
I think we all want to contribute more to long-term results, but reality is usually different. Short-term goals are more about solving problems, and long-term goals are about achieving goals. And the majority of organizations, they have both. And TalentOps can contribute to both, to short-term and long-term results. And this balance, it can be absolutely different depending on their organization's specific needs, goals, or strategic approach. In the short term, TalentOps handles efficient day-to-day talent management operations. TalentOps is responsible for quick, efficient, and effective hiring. So they directly influence immediate workforce planning and help to prioritize hiring plan. So that's about short-term goals. And in the long term, TalentOps build systematic and scalable processes, and they drive important decisions about workforce planning, talent development, and employee retention. And they also add strategic value by continuously analyzing hiring metrics and recruitment data. And this helps to enhance the organization's talent quality over time and to reduce long-term costs associated with higher turnover rates. So these professionals, I think they must be really flexible and adaptable to align their work with the company's strategic direction.
Mm-hmm. Could you share some real-world examples of how data-driven recruitment has led to improved hiring decisions or better talent acquisition outcomes at MacPaw?
We have lots of these cases at MacPaw, but I cannot share them because of NDA. But I could share a case from my experience where data helped us to eliminate the test task as an evaluation step in the hiring process. Okay, will it work for you?
Yes, we accept.
All right. So at one of my teams, we were hiring software engineers in an extremely competitive and fast-paced Ukrainian market. I'm sure you know that. Sometimes people get offers like in one day. They pass all the interviews and get their offer, and after that they decide from 5, And we were talking to a candidate and they already had several job offers on hand. So we had to move really fast. And usually when it happens, on the other side, you have a very stubborn hiring team which refuses to get rid of a test task which takes around 7 years for a candidate to complete. And when we took a look at a funnel for the past year for software engineer vacancies, we noticed several things. First of all, number of candidates on tech interview stage was almost equal to the number of candidates on the test task stage, which meant that one of these stages isn't evaluating candidates properly. So it doesn't give us clear understanding of whether we should spend these candidates and our time further. Second thing we notice is that time spent on the test task stage for candidates was insane for the Ukrainian market, and compared to other stages, more than 2 weeks. So how many offers you can get from other companies while staying on this stage for 2 weeks?
Approximately 14, one per day.
Yeah, 114 offers. Yeah, so this made time to hire so much longer than it should be, and uncompetitive compared to other companies. So of course, candidates, they had been procrastinating in the last minute of our huge task, and as a result, and this is my third point, more than 30% were refusing to complete it, and they were accepting an offer from another company. So when we presented all this data to the team, they had no other choice than to get rid of the test task. They redesigned their technical interview, they added some live coding, and they made the interview longer. And also they were spending time reviewing test tasks and writing feedbacks, and now all this extra work was gone, and they could see that. We were collecting feedback from candidates and hiring teams after we changed this process, and we made sure that these changes didn't affect the quality of hire, and they didn't.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I think that even these short observations could save some other companies and our listeners money and time because they are really precious. And thanks for sharing as much as you could according to your idea. I think that this case illustrates how to use TalentOps and scale it. And about scaling, here technology comes. What role does technology play, as you think, in enabling data-driven recruitment? Are there specific tools or software that are essential for this process at MacPaw?
Yeah, of course. Once you have an adequately described hiring process with all edge cases taken into attention, that's when technology comes in. You start thinking about automation of this particular part of your routine. So for sure, some of the crucial instruments our team cannot imagine their lives without our ATS and our cozy handmade analytical dashboard. And I'd also hate it if I didn't mention the Together app. It's a great example. It's the app we created at MacPaw when the full-scale war with Russia started. The thing is, our team was spread by Ukraine, and some people were abroad on vacation when Russia invaded us, and someone had to flee Ukraine with their families. It was crucial for us to know where each team member is located and if they're safe right now, whether they can work or only can focus on volunteering right now, or they decided to join forces. And we created this simple app that prompts regular status updates from all team members in Slack. This assured us of member safety and gave our managers a real-time view of team capacity. And it enabled them to comprehend who could continue work and who could maybe focus on their personal situations. And such information was really important in managing our operations efficiently during such challenging times. And we still use this app during the massive attacks from Russia, when we need to make sure that everyone from our team members is safe. I know that this app is open and it's free for any company which would like to test it in their environment.
Yeah, the story of the Together app sounds impressive, and I think it's a great initiative, and you guys realized a great idea in these unstable and very vulnerable times for all of us.
Yeah, totally agree with Sophia. I'm amazed how companies adjust their skills and their expertise to do something great in extraordinary situations.
Yes.
And by the way, maybe you can give us some final recommendations from such a market leader as MacPaw. How can small and medium enterprises build or improve recruitment with a data-driven approach? Maybe some key steps or best practices, some tips.
Yeah, I love to give advice, so get ready. So first of all, I think as a medium-sized company, you should define what you need to measure. Don't measure data for data. It will take your time and money, and not all data will be valid. You should, looking into your strategic goals, you should determine what metrics are relevant to your recruitment process. Important hiring metrics for a start, I think, or for medium, I don't know how to, medium-sized companies are not starting, but they are continuing. So important hiring metrics, they include time to fill, cost per hire, quality of hire, source of hire, retention rate, interviews per offer. I love this metric. Please measure interviews per offer if you are thinking about the quality of your hiring process and about time your interviewers are spending on hiring. sharing.
You're making notes.
And the next thing is to leverage technology. If you're not using ATS, start using it right now.
I agree. It's not sponsored.
Yeah, I even added, call to action. So maybe it'll help somebody to buy ATS and work with candidates' data and manage hiring process in collaboration with all team. Don't use this boring, sheets, and use ATS to collect your data, to analyze your data. Many of these systems, they have built-in analytics, and it can present data in simple viewable format, and if you're a small or medium business, basic analytics solution from your ATS system will be enough. You won't need something else. And the next step,
we can joke that,
yes,
that this is a small block of native advertisement, but this is not true. You need to switch to ATS.
Yes. We know why we're all here right now, right? So why not talk about ATS once more? So next step is analysis of all this data. You have it, right? You gathered all of it, and now you have to analyze it and to compare it maybe to average numbers in your company, and it will definitely help you to set a direction. You'll know, for example, which of your roles are more easy to fill and where you need to put more effort, or which sources of recruitment are more effective, for example. When you have all these insights, you can make predictions and decisions you can rely on. For example, if analysis shows that a particular recruitment source consistently brings in high-quality employees, then investing more in that source would make sense. Continual improvement is really important. Recruiting should be a constant process of seeking and implementing improvement. Make change your routine, because change is life. And the last thing, you should ensure compliance and privacy when you are working with lots of sensitive data. Ensure that you maintain privacy and comply with all data regulations locally and globally, and it really matters if you are working not only on your local market but with other markets as well. So data security, it really must be a priority as you collect and use data in your hiring process, especially right now. And the last thing I want to say is that data-driven recruitment process is a powerful tool, but your insights are only as good as your data. Make sure to pay attention to it, to cleanse your data regularly. Keep it clean, accurate, and up-to-date as possible. So, and you also need to be sure that you analyze your data in context. And no data point stands alone, and you should always consider it part of the bigger picture.
We will definitely make a publication on our LinkedIn with Anna's quotes.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke that we made notes, because even some basic or quite understandable tips for someone can be really game-changing for some other companies or people. So really thanks for sharing this. I think it can be a nice start for companies building their processes in data-driven recruitment. And actually it was the end of our main part of the podcast with all the serious information. Thanks for this. And here is like a surprise.
Surprise!
Thanks for the soundtrack. Here is our regular block of questions we ask all our guests. It's called Some Questions Most Candidates Hate. You remember these interviews when recruiters ask you all these...
Why did you choose our company?
Yeah, something like that. So we have one question for you. Are you ready?
Hey, no, I need 2 seconds. Yes, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Stress moment on the interview. So your question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I love this question. So, as I am Ukrainian, first of all, I see myself alive in 5 years.
We can relate.
Yes, and I believe I'll be rebuilding the country after our victory. And
Yes.
career-wise, I want to bring value and see how my job changes organization. And to be honest, I don't care what my title would be. I certainly feel that right now I'm in the right place, doing right things with right people. But I believe most of them are left to center left wing though.
You inspired me, really. It's not a joke.
You're hired.
Okay. Thanks.
Anna, we want to thank you for being with us. It was a real pleasure to talk to you. And I hope that we will meet again on one of our podcasts.
Yeah,
And maybe even
in
offline.
Yeah, maybe offline.
Yeah, it would be great.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. It was really interesting, and preparing for this podcast and talking to you right now. Thank you.
Thank you. And to all our listeners, don't forget to like this podcast and set the notification to be the first to listen to the next episodes. And also do not hesitate to leave your comments and share your thoughts about things that we discussed. What do you think about talent operations? Have you heard about this term before this episode? And share your thoughts.
Yeah.
And buy ATS.
And buy ATS.
Thank you, Anna. It's not but we like it. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.